marketing colleagues about the customer, we didn't assume that the Edge customer was standing still. We know that they're evolving too. And the way they evolved was as their social network became more nimble, probably because of all of our cell phones, and their lives become more hectic, as all of our lives are becoming more hectic and change happens more rapidly, we knew the car needed to reflect that as well. So that kind of became the theme. We want the car to be more nimble in the way it looks. Not that the Edge that was out there at the time wasn't good looking. It's really good looking, and it was a successful vehicle from the start. I mean, it's a little intimidating when you're given the task of designing this all-new vehicle, and you're, a friend of mine, won't say me, had a few sleepless nights about, I don't want to be the guy, or he didn't want to be the guy known for screwing up Edge. It wasn't me. And I started thinking, it's not a disadvantage to be that guy. It's actually an advantage. You can use the history of the brand, because now it has a history, right? There had been the original Edge, there had been the redesigned Edge, and this was going to be the third gen. You can start to build on what's been successful in the past and future everything else. So that's what we did. We looked at the customer, we knew a direction we were going to head in, we knew what our assets were, which was the successful Edge products that had come before us, and that gave us an ethos about the whole vehicle. So as far as what we carried forward from the Edge of the past was the profile, right? It had a great stance, it had a great profile, it had a great package. So we kept that, and if you're familiar with the Edge, you know that Edge had short overhangs, it had a grille that leaned back, it had a short hood, it had a fast windshield, it had a center line which I like to say looks like the Comet and its tail. The powerful part of the Comet is above the driver and passenger, and the tail is in the second row. It kind of is an arc that gets flat, which is important to a designer like me because it indicates direction, maybe subconsciously to the viewer. And then the fast backlight reinforces it all. So classic Edge profile. But the bodywork we could change, right? And because we wanted to be more nimble, we carved out the bodywork. So the section below the shoulder, everything below the belt, we call this the shoulder. We carved out, back front, and back out again. So it gives you that sort of lighter feel. It actually carves away visual mass and about 60 pounds of clay that was left on the floor. So that's the philosophy. Is that clear? Any questions about that? Take what's great about Edge, retain it, and future everything else to be more like the new Ford brand DNA and to fit our customers' more active, more nimble lifestyle. Pretty simple. I want to continue that theme by talking about the front end. So let's step over here. Ford brand DNA, which is why you see the form language that you do in the body color pieces. But there's something missing in that form language from the other Ford product. In the other Ford product, you see like Focus, Fiesta, Suzuki Mondeo, you see body color between the headlight and the grill. Edge never had that. So we decided, from a down-road graphics, from an ERG point of view, we want our customers to know that a quarter mile away, this is an Edge. So we've kept this feature of connecting the headlights to the grill. So again, following the whole philosophy that we had already developed, everything started to fit into place, and I knew what to keep and what to change. For example, the grill bars. Edge had 3 grill bars from the onset. In the redesign of Edge, they were again 3 grill bars, and they got something bigger and bolder, and our customers liked it. They gave Edge this confident face. But now, with the more refined, more sophisticated theme, we took the 3 bars, and instead of being front-facing, we leaned each one of them back. And the section is like the one you were playing. Here, they're painted black. It's a little hard to appreciate because we're going for that sport model. But you can see in the pictures around the room and behind you here, those 3 black bars are really painted in what we call silver line, which is a satin silver paint. And then the outline is chrome. So the chrome was reduced, but still had bright. Again, refining the existing Edge theme. Questions about the front end? Oh, the other piece about the front end is we have signature lamps. Now on Edge, the model that's outgoing, you see the signature, we brought it into the daytime. And that's what these signature lights do. They're on during the day, and they let everybody know that this is an Edge from even a far distance, right? Down road traffic. I call them strakes. They're just, you know, something to give the hood a little bit of visual excitement and to emphasize on this relatively short, blunt hood. It's confident and it does its job in that regard, but we wanted to emphasize the motion. Really, the new Ford brand DNA that you see on here, this product and on our other products is about forward motion, and this just gives you that sense because it looks like it was actually shaped by the wind.
And did the previous age
I don't think so. We added that, and that's actually a water management system. So that keeps water from falling on your seat when you open the door. There's a couple of tracks there, and we found that the 2 tracks was better than just a single big one. It's less disruptive visually, and it does a better job. Any other questions? I'm not sure that the coefficient of drag is improved on this model, but we certainly spent a ton of time learning about it. It may be, maybe we can ask one of the other. But let me give you a couple examples of what we did. This is a sport model, so you don't see it, but some of our other models have an air curtain. So we're taking air in from the front and letting it out the side. We let it out the side on the inside. We'll look at on the other models on inside of the front wheel lip. And that air flowing out across the face of the tire takes turbulent air from the wheel and smooths it out. And the benefit is all the way down the side of the car. And it's for free. Just make the ducting, and you get the benefit. The faster you go, the more benefit you get. Things like this little lip you see on the mirror sail, how this little lip curls out. People may wonder what that's about. That's so when you roll your windows down, you don't get the buffeting. You don't get as much of it anymore. It's impossible to eliminate it all, but this greatly reduced it. We spent hours. I spent days. I spent my Super Bowl Sunday in the wind tunnel. Not that I'm bitter about it. In the wind tunnel, forming this piece to be the least obtrusive visually, but the most effective functionally. And there's another piece on the back. Maybe we can move to the back now. First, because we actually made them gloss black so that they meld into the graphic of the backlight, but they detach the stream of air from the rear of the car. And detaching the wind here versus letting it tumble off here reduces drag. Turbulent air tumbling off here creates this flow in the back. You don't want that. You want it to just slip away. So all the way down the side of the car, we've managed the air. And at the corners, we've managed the air. And at the pillar, we've managed the air. Stuff that maybe the customer won't notice on the dealer's lot or on a billboard, so it's there to help all that air management. There's even a small lift way down here at the bottom that manages the airflow from underneath the car.
So does any of that work to make your backlight cleaner?
It probably does. I mean, releasing the air after the car certainly would keep it cleaner, but it wasn't. It's a side benefit of really wanting to reduce the drag. You know, the wing is actually longer than the outgoing model, but that's more a factor of the backlight being raked. The end of the wing ends about where the outgoing model's wing ended, but because the backlight is more raked, you can see just a couple of degrees makes a big difference. So I can remember saying to my design management, they looked at that wing and they said, "Wow, you're really going for it." And I said, "Wasn't going for the big wing, it's going for the raked backlight." And now that I'm used to it, it really suits the car. I think we put this little divot in here too that matches up with the gypsum. So it's all fun stuff that we do, and a lot of it has benefit. These pieces all have a functional benefit, not just for style. And I think they do.
Why don't you conceal the wiper under the spoiler?
That's a really expensive feature. It really adds up a lot of costs to the rear spoiler, and you know, we're trying to balance things here for our Ford customers.
So you've looked at it.
We've looked at it on other products before. I've been involved in studies for that. And as a designer, cost no object, I would take it. But when you're looking at trade-offs and you say, do I really want to have a nice lamp or do I want to hide the wiper? I'll take the nice lamp. And on this car, on this model, we have nice lamps. And the overall philosophy with the lamps here is we went from the vertical single lamp on the body side to the lamps that extend onto the lift gate. So we went horizontally, a little different than the tack we took on the front end. We zagged here on this edge. And we have, again, a sort of tone-on-tone system, just like with the chrome and the satin chrome. We have technical lamps that are all LED that perform the functions, and then we have an LED lamp that is the light strip, the light ribbon, which is more sculptural. And I think the interplay between the fully technical, you can see in the turn, it's the same no matter where you're standing. But the ribbon light is what a sculptor would call view dependent. As you move around, your perception of it changes. So I like the interplay. Maybe I'm the only one that's ever going to notice that. But I like the interplay between purely sculptural and purely technical. I think they work well together.
So when we designed this interior, we came up with this concept for dynamic sanctuary. And the reason being, the exterior is going very kind of dynamic route, and we wanted to be consistent, inside and out. And also we wanted to bring some of that, energy of the exterior into the interior. So you will see that there's a lot of, kind of expressive, surface language. Before the door was fairly flat and straight. Now there's a lot more, curvature. It's a lot more sculpted, and there's a lot more, attention to details. But also with this concept of a sanctuary, we wanted to really create this kind of open and airy environment for the interior. So first thing you may notice is the upper model had this window divider, which kind of split things up. And this is an uninterrupted, more panoramic opening. And also with this outboard model, we had this rubber moldings, we had like the body color paint, showing through, which was kind of spotty, when you sit in the car and look at it. And we kind of encapsulated all in a very nice, hard cover. So when our customers open the door and the first impression of the vehicle, wow, this is really, upscale, and it's gone beyond what it was before. And also, with the first generation Edge, the IP, the door panel was all hard plastic. And with the mid-cycle action, the facelift, we managed to put in the soft IP, but the door was still hard. And then finally, with this all new 15 Edge, everything is soft. And not only we made it soft, we made it more of a high-grade soft materials. It's not just a PTO or PB, it's actually IMGL process. So the graining definition is really good, and then the color and sheen is just very pleasant. So, any questions so far?
Carbon still coming underneath and in the car. The tire patch